Hi, I'm Richard Randall, and welcome to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker, the owner of Your Home Sold, Guaranteed Realty. This is the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate with Colorado's real estate authority, Barb Schlinker. Barb Schlinker is a retired Navy veteran. Barb is an author. Barb's also a pilot, and Barb and her team enjoy all that Colorado and the Front Range have to offer. Barb, always great to be talking with you. Now, we air Your Real Estate Voice every Saturday, and if you can't listen to the entire show, remember it's always available on Barb's site, barbhasthebuyers.com, or go ahead and look for Barb on most of the popular podcast platforms, iHeartRadio, others like that. Every week, Your Real Estate Voice covers great information about the housing market and one of your largest assets, your home. Barb, what are we talking about today?
Well, the first topic is that considering your home as an asset. It's actually investing in real estate is probably the fastest way to build wealth in general. I mean, you see most of the wealthy people have real estate as part of their investment portfolio. For some people, they're living in their investment. You know, it's their home. Now, there's arguments about that. Some people say, well, you know, if you live in the home, it's not really an investment, but it does go up in value over time. So we're going to talk about some ways to build wealth using the equity and some other ideas in real estate, the first segment, and kind of what's going on in the market and how you can really leverage the equity that you have. And then the second topic is for buyers. So what I'm seeing and what I have seen over the last probably 4 months is that a lot of buyers are sitting on the sideline, kind of hoping that the rates come down, kind of hoping that the prices will come down. And it's happened a little bit, but not enough for them to come out in force and grab homes. So we're going to talk about when's the best time to buy a house in Colorado. And then the third topic is one of my favorite ones is inspection. So I talk about inspections all the time because it's probably the source of most of my cat fights with other real estate agents, cats and dogs, whatever. It's insane what goes on over inspection issues. And we're going to talk about some key things to help home sellers sort of prepare for that so they know in advance, okay, if I'm going to sell my house, I have to get ready for these things. And then the very last topic is one of my favorite topics is about cash offers. So we're unique in that we have a proprietary cash offer platform where we actually show up and meet our sellers and we have a fistful of cash offers on their house. And that is unique. Nobody else is doing that. We're going to talk about the pros and cons of whether or not a cash offer would be right for a seller or not. And as always, I love talking about my hot new listings. Richard?
Now, Barb, the real estate market has had some recent turmoil, but people are still buying and selling homes. Many people buy real estate as an investment and not just as a place to live. What is the fastest way to build wealth in real estate right now in Colorado?
Well, I did a little research on this, Richard, and actually the housing market in general in the US is worth almost $48 trillion. I can't imagine what 1 trillion actually is, but it's a lot of money. And in the last year or so, real estate's gone up a couple of $1 trillion in value. So even though we'll see slight fluctuations in the market values right now, overall, over the long term, real estate goes up. I can look at graphs going all the way back to 1985, and it pretty much looks like a straight up with a few little blips here and there. So I wouldn't worry too much. Over time, real estate does go up in value, and it's a good investment. And typically, people have more net worth if they do either buy and hold real estate, or sometimes they might make some money flipping, although that's not it's probably not as good as hanging on to it over time. I've talked to so many people that bought homes when they found a good deal. And, you know, looking back on it, it just seemed like an average deal to them. but because they held on to it for a long time, a lot of them will say, I wish I could have bought 5 more of those because it did so well for me. So what we've seen just in the market stats more recently is that the prices have dropped a bit while the inventory number of available homes has stayed high. We're seeing the average price drop down below actually what it was at the beginning of the year. But don't let that bother you. Real estate's very local. It's so local. It's about the neighborhood. It could be 2 homes in a neighborhood that one might be worth more than another for various reasons. So I wouldn't let that worry you at all. The people that get into trouble with real estate is if they treat it like a short-term investment, because it really is not a good short-term investment unless you buy it super low. Like if you walk in the door with equity, you're in pretty good shape. And actually, people that bought homes before around 2019, they're sitting on some pretty good equity. I know we had the meltdown in 2008, but after 2011, kind of when it bottomed out after that mess, ever since that time, the values over the long term have gone up substantially. So the people that keep the asset, take the equity out, they do pretty well. And right now is a great time for somebody to buy a piece of real estate simply because the volume of sales has gone down as compared to a year ago, even though the rates are pretty similar to what they were a year ago and the inventory is higher. So supply and demand, we got more available homes and fewer buyers. So if you have fewer sales, the average days on market's taking longer, and sellers that want to sell right now, if they don't price it realistically, they could be sitting on it waiting months and months for it to sell. And I did some research actually right now to buy an average price home of around 400,000. Their annual household income needs to be over 110,000. That's a lot of money, actually. It's probably more than what people in general make. And there are some sellers that are pulling their house off the market right now, mostly because they're sitting on really, really low interest rates. So it doesn't cost them that much to sit on the property. So a lot of people are saying, oh, I'll wait till the spring, because in the spring, we do see the prices go a little bit higher. And that's mostly because, again, of supply and demand. Fewer homes are on the market, but there's more buyers out because a lot of people are trying to get ahead of the summer move. So those people are just sitting on their lower rates. Their payments aren't that bad and kind of reconsidering, should I keep it? Should I sell it? All that. But we haven't seen a whole lot of changes in inventory or in pending contracts. And rates, believe it or not, Richard, the rates just a couple of weeks ago when the Fed said, hey, I'm going to knock down the federal rate a 0.5 point, what happened was the mortgage rates went up from there almost a 0.5 point. So they don't necessarily align with each other. I would not wait to the Fed meeting. What we're seeing in interest rates right now, a 30-year fix is probably just over 6.5 as of the time of the show. It was at 6.64%. 30-year VA was just above 6%. Now, there are a lot of lenders. In fact, the lender that we recommend offers a 1% buy down on your rate. So there's those deals out there. That's why I just wouldn't wait to buy, because it's very easy down the road to refinance at very little cost. And you're in already. You've already got the home, the right home at the right price. And so if we see interest rates drop down, over the next couple of Fed meetings, where if they drop down where homes are more affordable for buyers, buyers might be competing with other buyers. And nobody liked that. No buyer liked that in 2022. They were not only competing with other buyers, they were competing with institutional buyers that were coming in with cash, paying way over asking. I mean, it was tough to be a live in the home buyer during that time. So people don't really like competition because they have to put their best foot forward and sometimes come up with more cash than they had planned on it. And I just sold a home just a month ago where the buyer had purchased a home right at the top of the market in 2022. It was a remodeled home. He got in a bidding war, so he paid $565 for it and sold it for $538. So that hurts when you have to turn a piece of real estate that quickly. As always, it's perfect if you actually get the 4 P's right: preparation, picking the right agent, pricing it right, and making sure it's promoted properly. If you do that, the chances of you doing well with your real estate sale or investment are very good. So if you are thinking of making a move, give us a call at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. I'm Barb Schlinker, the broker owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty and the host of the show. And we're talking about, why wait or not wait to buy a home. And when we come back, we're just going to touch on some things that you can do to build wealth in real estate. Richard?
Barb, we're talking about the current real estate market and how people can be prepared if they want to buy or sell. So, what should home sellers expect and do in a market situation like this one?
Well, when rates are dropping, okay, prices tend to go up. So, one thing that a lot of buyers don't know is that even if they buy with a little bit higher interest rate, they're not locked into it. If they get an FHA or a VA loan, they can refinance at no cost, no income verification, no appraisal. They just basically lower their payment. That's what they do, and all they have to do is maintain their credit score. So I would not wait around if you can afford a home. There's more homes on the market right now. The prices are coming down just a little bit. So if you find the right deal, definitely jump on it, because you could refinance in as little as 6 months and get your payment down very quickly. Real estate's very local. Every home is different. Every home has something unique about it, right? There are differences by neighborhood, by home style, by age, by zip code, by school district, all these different things. You're better off when you go on the market to make sure it's priced very, very realistically. That's actually how you get the most money when you sell. I just helped a home seller do it last week, where we initially talked about a higher price, but then we looked at the market before we went on the market. And they decided, okay, yeah, we should price it very realistically. And when they did that, that home sold in one day, and we got a contract for over asking price. And they never had to do a single showing. And the buyer didn't do an inspection, and the buyer's paying cash. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. So it's all about being the best home in the neighborhood in order to get top dollar. And we know how to help people do that. So if you are thinking of making a move, give us a call at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And if you're thinking of making a move, call Barb at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. A short break. When we come back, we're going to be talking about when is the best time to buy a house in Colorado. Stay tuned for that.